Climbers, I'm banging my head against the frickin' wall over here. I'm so frustrated, and as frustrated as I am, I just can't help but think this is your opportunity. Pay attention. That's what we're going to talk about today. Good. Welcome to the C.L.I.M.B. This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business. You got to create the traffic. You got to create the brand. You got to create the momentum. And then they're all going to come to you. The good news is you get to create it all, and nobody's going to stick their nose in your business. So by the time you get going and your business is rolling, you're going to have some leverage to get them to stay out of the way, but they will come to you. That's why we called it the C.L.I.M.B, C.L.I.M.B, creating leverage in the music business. That's a backronym from my good friend and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter, who's an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady A, Joe Nichols. He's got a top 25 in bluegrass as we speak. He's got a top 20 or a top 40 on Texas
40
radio as we speak. It'll go top 20. I'm confident in that. He's had number ones in Southern gospel. He's had a top 5 on country radio with a songwriter song, which was Monday Morning Church from Alan Jackson. I mean, the songwriters love that song because that's one of those like really good ones that gets into the that becomes a hit. And y'all, you don't care about any of that. Here's what you care about: is he can help you, right, by showing you, the songwriter, how to become a pro, by revealing how you write like a pro, do business like a pro, and then he'll connect you with the pros, help you create relationships with the people that can help your career. And you can find Brent very easily at songwritingpro.com.
And I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They're breaking artists digitally by identifying new fans through data. It's complicated, but, he's smart. If you're an artist looking to increase your streams, blow up your video views, sell more live show tickets, and get discovered by new fans, TV, and music industry pros, then Daredevil Production can help. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That is production, singular, no S. And there's no S because there is no other Johnny D.
Hey, brother.
So I'm sorry you're frustrated.
Dude, it is crazy how far behind like the entire music industry is when it comes to digital. And I've this past week has just been bananas. I mean, I feel like I should probably get like Brandon Will on with us or something like that to just explain to him, like, here's an artist that gets it. And we're going to talk just a little bit about what's going on and why this is an opportunity for you guys, because we took on a couple new gigs this past week, one with an artist that has a really killer James Taylor tribute act. And they're, investing money, wanting to build this brand up so that they can, get this profitable sooner. And then number 2, we took on Joe Kelly, who's from CDX Nashville, is a radio promoter. And if you're familiar with Whiskey Jam in Nashville, he's created a new show they're going to promote once a month at 3rd and Lindsley called the Big Damn Music Jam. And it's a showcase kind of a show. They're going to have like 6 artists on every night. You go on for 22 minutes and you do, 3 or maybe 4 songs, 3 hopefully, and create some moments if you're smart.
Right.
And it'll be a big industry hang as well, And so by the time this show drops, the first one was August 14th. This will be after that, I believe. And the second one, I think, is like September 9th. So it's free. And it's just a great place to, look at some new talent that's up and coming, and also rub elbows with, and create some relationships and run into some people that you want to run into. So it's a great idea, but all these have me dealing with venues and selling and tracking and digital tracking. So I want to lay some of this out for you guys and just talk about like it's just never been more clear to me that it's still the friggin' Wild West. Everybody is just clueless about it. And I'm not saying this like in a derogatory manner. Like it's a matter, I'm just being very matter of fact. Like they don't know. And so the first artists, the first labels, the first management companies, and the first venues that get their head around this are going to crush everybody else. So that's that. Anyway, before we do that though, let's take care of a little business here. Make sure you join the C.L.I.M.B community on Facebook. Just go to groups and search for the C.L.I.M B community. You have to ask to be let in. We let everybody in as long as you're not trying. What was the latest one? Trying to sell car detailing?
Car detailing. Yeah. They bounced. I roadhoused them.
Roadhouse them. Don't sell anything in there. I don't know.
It was time to not be
I don't know
nice.
how I missed that one. I try to screen them the best I can.
Oh, because we were recording. It was only like an hour ago. We were doing another episode. I just checked it a second ago so I can get the Wednesday wins.
I mean the one where
where they got in?
Usually like I'm letting them in. Yeah. So
I don't know.
Sometimes they get past me. Usually I try to do a little bit of research on them just to make sure. But anyway, guys, this is where you can ask questions. This is a thriving group of your peers. And if you got questions about songwriting, if you got questions about marketing, if you got questions about merch, if you got questions about being an artist or a musician, man, ask it in the feed and you'll get plenty of answers. And not for nothing, there's been plenty of songwriting co-writes that have been hooked up on multiple continents from this group, which we're proud of, that have turned into lucrative paying gigs, man. So this is a great place to find some co-writes.
That's right.
If you come in and do it right. So we got on Mondays, celebrate your new music. You can put whatever new music you've dropped in the comments section of the New Music Monday post. You can put your gigs in the comments section of the Gig Alert on Thursday. And then we celebrate the new heights comments, which is what we call Wednesday Wins. We're just talking about, man, what did you do to get 1% better this past week? Like what happened? What's a win that happened? Like we want to hear about it, and you're going to get a lot of love and a lot of support back. So, and then we support it on the pod. So Brent, what do we got for Wednesday?
Yes, so this recent new height, we have climber Johnny Matt, who was also in Mackenzie O'Brien's video, Incognito for Sugar Daddy Issues. Thank you again, Johnny. Johnny Matt says he's opening up for 2 great bands tomorrow night and got rounds set up for my trip to Nashville in October. So congratulations, Johnny, doing the work ahead of time to get those rounds set up in Nashville. Speaking of playing in Nashville, climber Tracy Collins Richardson says, I got to play a Sunday writer's night at the Bluebird Cafe. It was amazing and very cool. That's a fun step for a writer for sure. And I'm sure she killed it. So Johnny, Tracy, congrats. Keep on climbing.
I loved it. And thank you, Johnny Matt, that was a last minute 11th hour thing. And he showed up. So I love that. All right, so let's get into this. So here's what's going on, man. With Brandon Will has this great James Taylor tribute. Like he can sound just like James Taylor, man. So he's got this fucking agent. They're helping out and getting him some good gigs. And this can become a very, very lucrative thing for him instead of a day job, where he's actually singing and touring while he's trying to do his artist stuff. And he's a great writer. I mean, he's very, very plugged in the circles that we're in and everything. And I always have him write with my artists. I mean, with Mackenzie and Josh and all that stuff. So here is the deal, man. So we've been having these conversations about digital marketing forever, Now I should set this up a little bit. If you've ever been to Shopify or if you've ever been to Etsy, if you've ever purchased anything that is unrelated to the music industry, online, Amazon, all these places, it's a little sophisticated, but it's not rocket science. Okay. But they are tracking you, it's called cookies. Right. And we've talked about this before. If you don't buy something on Amazon, right, all of a sudden that product shows up everywhere and every website you go to and it's in your Gmail, it's in your Facebook feed, it's in your Instagram feed. Like they know, and they're plugging that stuff in there. It's really intelligent marketing because they know that you've shown interest in something. So on my corporate clients, right? We make ads, and these ads drive traffic to a free webinar. Well,
Mm-hmm.
once you go to the landing page to register for that webinar, some code fires, and it lets
Mm-hmm.
me know, and it also speaks to the algorithm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the algorithm learns, like, oh, this person that we targeted actually is visiting the website. Then once they actually register for it, they go to a thank you for registering page. Another code fires and
Mm-hmm.
lets me know and lets the algorithm know, hey, this person, not only are they interested in this, they're very interested because
Yes.
they did that. Once they register for the webinar, they're automatically put into a sales funnel, which is like an email chain, right? Which is a whole bunch of video content that are intermittent emails that are automatic. They're programmed to go out, and it's just about creating relationships. So it's the agent is in the content, and they're these people, it's just value bomb stuff. They're not trying to sell
Mm-hmm.
anything, right? It's just
Yeah.
like, hey, did you know this? Did you know that? Like, look out for this new tax law and blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. So if that person, like, every single email has a call to action on it, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
get a free consultation. When they click on that button, they go to an app called Calendly. You may have been familiar with that, or Acuity is another one. That's the one we
Mm-hmm.
use for the climb. It's a
Yeah.
competitor to Calendly, but it's the same. It's a scheduling app, right? It's where people can go and make their appointments. Well, as soon
Mm-hmm.
as they click on that button and they go to the Calendly page, a pixel fires, a code tracking code fires, and then another tracking code fires when they choose the day, and then a third tracking code fires when they choose the time, and then when they actually make the appointment, it fires, and it's all connected with the ads algorithm, and it's teaching the algorithm what to do, like who is our person and who isn't our person, right?
Yeah. So, like, honing in on this type of person
Right.
goes through is a winner. Like, they go through the
Right.
process. They book an appointment. They buy the thing. They whatever. Like, these are the people. Find more people like this.
Yes, exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
let's go down that rabbit hole a little bit more. So this first came to my attention. I've told this story before on the pod, but if you're new, you haven't heard it. Like, in 2019, I started working with my first concert promoter. Okay. And T.G. Shepherd is a legacy country artist that was a real
Mm-hmm.
big deal back in the late 70s and the 80s. I think he had like 21 number ones or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big deal, like a great country artist. And this promoter was promoting shows for him. We had 3 shows clustered together in little faded map dots, 600-seater theaters, and tickets were $62. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to me. He's like, I'm going to just try something different, right? I'm just going to go totally digital with you. I'm not going to do TV. I'm not going to do radio ads. I'm not going to do any newspaper ads.
Mm-hmm.
Just you think you can do it? I'm like, watch me work, And so these 2
Yeah.
shows were like clustered around a long weekend, right? And so we went to work. He spent a total of like $6,800 on all 3 shows combined. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we sold 1,000 tickets. Okay. So we
Yeah.
had about each of those theaters filled up 50% of the way about.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't know what he's buying the talent for, what his overhead is. So I have no idea if he made money or not. And when he gets back to me, I'm like, did you make money? He's like, oh yeah, I made money, man. Thank you. Like,
Yeah.
and he bought 10 more shows. Right.
Yeah.
So here's the first frustration that I had back then is 3 different theaters, 3 different online ticket outlets. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you're buying stuff online, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you believe it or not, and whether you like it or not, it's freaking e-commerce. Okay.
Yes.
This is what is, and so the tracking, the digital tracking is absolutely paramount to make that work. It ties 1 or 2 arms behind your back if you're not able to put code like on a thank you page after a purchase,
Mm-hmm.
because you're just flying blind at this point. You are, and so is the algorithm, because not only is the algorithm not learning like who's a buyer and who's not a buyer, but also it can't be attributed to an ad, right? So you don't know if a certain ad is working better than another ad, right?
Okay.
Or what different things that you can try.
Like, where
right?
do they come from? I don't know.
I don't know, right? So,
well, it's kind of like on some place to be like, how did you hear about us? Click from this list. They want to know where you came from, so they know
right.
what to keep feeding. Like, oh, this newspaper ad works. This digital ad works. Keep feeding that because it works. They don't know.
Exactly. So there are some ways around the system. So for the first speed bump I run into with this in terms of the digital and the music industry is each of these three venues, the three 600-seater theaters, if you remember, had a different ticket outlet that they're working with, right?
Okay.
And so these theater people don't know from digital. They don't understand. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, can you give us the name of your ticket outlet? I reach out to tech support. Hey, I'm on the back end of your platform here. I'm trying to figure out where to put the tracking, the pixel. Where do I put it? And because I'm thinking these are tech companies
Right.
that are moving into the music industry, right? And or e-commerce platforms that are moving into the music industry. And why wouldn't Shopify create a brand that sells concert tickets? I mean,
Right.
it makes sense, right? It's not a stretch. And they're like, what's a pixel? Like, what's tracking code? I was like, oh crap. Okay. So these are music people that, scrape together some kind of friggin' website to the best of their ability with their, non-tech abilities. And they just figured out a way to sell tickets online. That's what it is,
Yeah.
All three of them no ability to put the sales code in. So the way around it was, and this is good for you to know, was over the course of the time that we promoted these shows, again, he had a total spend of $6,800 across all three shows. That generated it was like 17,100% views of the ad that I put together. It was a video ad for T.G. Shepherd. Okay. So I had from his management company all these assets that I was allowed to use, and I put together an ad, and it was about 90 seconds long. So, I mean, you're not watching that all the way through unless you're a T.G. Shepherd fan, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know out of all the people that saw the ad, like who purchased. I just know we sold 1,000 tickets, right? That's the part where the sales tracking doesn't matter or wasn't factored in because they didn't have that ability.
Right.
But if you've ever watched the movie on Netflix called A Social Dilemma, it's terrifying as a consumer, but as a marketer, it's marketing porn. Okay. It's very exciting. All right. And know this, like all the platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, etc., they keep 54,000 data points. They track 54,000 different pieces of data on each account. You got a Facebook account, you got an Instagram account, they've got 54,000 pieces of data that they track on you. Now, why is this important? Okay, so I've got 17,000 100% views for these T.G. Shepherd shows. The promoter comes back and he buys 10 more shows, right? The next two are happening a lot sooner than these first three that I did for him, right? We had 12 weeks to promote that show. This one we got like 6 weeks, if that, like 5 weeks. And same size venue, it's 600 seaters in 2 brand new markets in Georgia and 2 brand new faded map dots in Georgia. So I am able to go back and tell the algorithm, hey, these 17,000 people here, like when I say 17,000 100% views, your first instinct listening to my voice is like a consumption metric. Oh, wow, that's good. Like how many thousands of views did you get on your YouTube, right? Or whatever. Or how many streams did you get on your on Spotify? Okay, those are consumption metrics. Well, first of all, this isn't, how 30 seconds into a Spotify stream counts as a stream. I can't remember what the number is on YouTube, but in my case, it's broken down, right? I know if they watched it for 3 seconds, for 15 seconds, for 25%, 50%, 75%, or 100% of the video length. Okay. So I know like who's really interested. But it's more than a consumption metric because those are 17,000 different actual people, because bots don't watch videos that are 90 seconds long. And those are 17,000 different accounts. Each of those accounts has 54,000 pieces of data on them. some of that data is going to match. They're going to have in common.
Mm-hmm.
So I can tell the algorithm, hey, go find me a bunch of new people in these new markets. Right? So think about it. Like when I'm running ads for a live event, I'm running maybe 50, 60-mile radius around the venue, depending on the brand name, right? So it's very market specific, right? So in those 3 markets, in the first 3 shows, 17,000 people watch that all the way through. And I tell the algorithm, find the commonalities that these 17,000 people have. And then the algorithm, let's say there's 1,200 things that all 17,000 of these accounts have in common out of the 54,000 that each of them have. And they go and they look for the people that match that in the new markets. It's called a lookalike audience.
Yeah.
And what happens when I do that? Well, I sold out those next 2 shows in half the time for 2/3 of the budget.
Whew.
Okay.
So it's learning. It's getting smarter.
It's learning,
the algorithm is learning,
It's
right?
learning. I mean, how much would that help your business? Right.
I mean, it gets cheaper to find your customer the longer you do it, right? If you do it right.
Yes.
It gets cheaper to find the buyers.
Yes, relatively speaking. But it's learning, like, who is your fan?
Yeah.
Right? Who is really your fan? Like by watching the people that are responding the most to what you're putting out there, right? So you're able to build like that first 1,000 super fans way faster if you have this information. Now, everything that happens on the Facebook platform is 100% accurate, right? Because it happens on the platform, they can track that. But when you're sending people off the platform to buy a ticket, for instance, right? That's why you need the pixel code there, because it helps, you're going to set up your ads campaign to convert on a sale of a ticket. Okay. Yeah. So it's going
that's who you really want. Yeah, it's fine you watched it, but I want the people that spend money.
Right. And that's so when you're running campaigns, like the way that you structure the campaign, the objective that you put on the campaign matters. Okay. So for instance, if I'm promoting an artist and I'm going to a cold audience, the first thing I'm going to do is video views, right? Because I want you to see the artist. Now, if we pick out, let's say that I have 1 million people in the audience that I've chosen, right, through interests and all this different stuff on the digital platform, and I'm going to push this out there, then those 1 million people, if I had all the budget in the world, money-wise, and that wasn't an option, I'm still not going to get my ad into all 1 million of feeds of those 1 million people, because Facebook's only going to put it in to the feeds of the people who watch video content. Some people don't, right? And so it chooses for that. So it matters when you are saying, I'm going to instead of optimizing this for video views, I want to optimize this for purchases, right? Well, then it starts to put a lot of weight on that pixel firing when somebody purchases, and that's how it starts to build the data and then refine the search to find who likes it and who doesn't like it. Okay. So, I mean, this knowledge can come in, man. You want to talk about blowing out old merch from last year. You want to talk about selling more merch and stuff online, selling tickets, blah, blah, blah. So that's 5 years ago now. Okay. 2019, and they don't know what a pixel is. So Brandon Will comes to me with he's like, hey man, I want to start doing this. Can you set this up? And I'm like, absolutely. Let's do that. Now we've got even more code that we want to add. We want to add a Facebook pixel, which is the cookie for Facebook ads, right? I also want to add a Google tag, and I want to add a Google tag manager code, and I want to add Google Analytics code. I work with an attribution software because Facebook has blind spots, right? They can't really see. Even if the code is installed on a ticket outlet, they can't actually track who bought it and who didn't buy it, right? Like, so they kind of algorithmically guess on that crap, which is astonishing, but it's true. And therefore, because it's a third party, right? It's not your website. It's not Facebook's website. They're not allowed to track that, because the people aren't sharing the information. So, they have to be careful of that. If Facebook gets busted, they get kicked off of Apple's app and they're screwed, right?
Yeah. They don't want that. Yeah.
It's all over for Facebook. They lost 50% of their revenue or more. So, an attribution software gives me like real time, like I know I can track it everywhere because they're not an app. Okay. And they can tell me like instantly, like when something's working, when it's not working. So when we test different campaigns for our clients, which we test all the time, I'm actually knowing like what the cost per conversion is, what it isn't, when something's too expensive, when something's working right, blah, blah, blah. So this is what Brandon wants to do. And the first place he's got a show at when he engages me is City Winery in Nashville. Yeah. This is a great company, by the way. I'm not slagging any of these companies. Again, this is not me talking down to these companies. This is me being very matter of fact. I mean, actually, City Wineries, as far as the email marketing is concerned, they've got it down. Like they're more advanced than most clubs are. But the first show, I'm trying to figure out how to get this code injected in there, and they won't let us do it. And I think my guess is because they don't know how. Yeah. Okay. They've got they're taking the money on the tickets that what we call a gateway to where you're allowed to spend money and get something in return. Okay. That whole exchange happens on their website, and they, either they don't have it available to them, and I'm pretty sure they don't, or they're not going to let us do it. Right. So here's an artist that's hitting the venue over the head with their checkbook going, we are going to invest $500 in this show to work this up, and they can't be bothered. Right. So
the artist wants to spend money to promote the show. And to do that most effectively and get the most butts in seats at the City Winery, in this case, is to get that code put on the website and all that back end stuff.
On the one event page, just for that specific show.
So you can see like who's coming there, who's interested. Website. Let's find more of those people so we can put more of those similar people in paying for a ticket and making City Winery money.
Right, exactly. So now, how does this work? I mean,
so they have an incentive here. It's not just doing the artist a favor.
Big incentive.
Yeah,
but it's not the way we normally do it, right? And so, I don't know. We didn't get anywhere with it. So, but I mean, it's important because the whoever's paying for the ads then knows, what the sales are being attributed to, right? Did this happen because of an ad that we did, or did it? Did somebody, then we'll know the difference between that and an email ad that City Winery sent out, because they have a pretty stout email. But also, like, again, a code is firing when somebody responds to an ad and they go to look, maybe they're going to buy tickets, but they don't put anything in the cart, right? So I know these people here, they visited, but they didn't put anything in the cart. And then there's people who puts tickets in the cart and then they abandon the cart for some reason, right? Maybe a phone call happened, or they were late, or they got busted at work because they're not supposed to be doing that, or
right,
a million reasons why you would abandon something in a cart. And then finally, the purchase happens, which is attributed back to the ad, and we get to know, like, what did this cost us, right? So we know. But here's the point, guys. I can then create another campaign that just goes back with a specific message from the artist to the people who abandoned the cart. Hey, I noticed you guys bought some tickets, man. Come on out and see us. We don't want to miss you. Like, it could be anything, right? But it can be a message specifically. It's only going to go to those people who abandoned their tickets in the cart. And then also for the people that are shopping, we can just keep showing them an ad or showing them a different ad. Right, to get them to go back
across the finish line.
Purchase. This is huge. Okay, so nothing. Well, then the next show that they have is in the Franklin Theater. Okay, and same thing. Like, by the time we got through to the marketing person, because like our one contact was like on vacation for like a week, right? So this became a fire drill. By the time we got to the right person, he was like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I'll inject the code for you. Like, evidently they've got something, but he's like, the only code I can inject is like on the main site. And he didn't inject it correctly because he doesn't know. He's not a digital marketer, right?
Yeah.
And so there was no pixels firing. So we're running ads currently right now, flying blind, just trying to drum up some interest in the show. Why? Because they want to sell that place out and be invited back again and really put on the show that they put on, which is fantastic, and turn that into a profitable market, you know, for them to work. And my response back to him was like, well, hey, can you, give us tell us who your ticket outlet is, your third-party ticket outlet. I'll reach out to their tech support and see if we can't figure it out, because I want to believe that they've got room for that. So I got no response. So I don't know if that's because it's their policy or because if it's very likely that the ticket outlet just doesn't account for that. Because I can promise you this, nobody's asking.
Yeah.
Right? None of their customers are asking for this. So they don't feel like they need it.
Yeah.
But this is the way all e-commerce has been going on for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's non-existent in the music industry. Okay. You want to talk about being able to leverage a playlist, right? Like you get on a playlist and imagine being able to get cookie data on everybody that listened to your song on a playlist.
That'd be great.
So two things can happen from that cookie data, right? Number one is when I release my next song, I can make sure those people know.
Exactly. Yep.
Right. And you might say, well, Spotify does that on their Friday or their release radar. They don't. That's what they say they do, but you only get a very small percentage of those people that follow you are going to be told about that. And maybe you haven't impressed them enough for them to follow you yet, but they really like that song,
Yeah.
So it provides information on the specific person, the specific account, so that you can go back and target them again with the second release and the third release.
So is that something that's technically, I wouldn't have thought that was possible to like go into a Spotify and attach a cookie
digital.
or something?
It's absolutely possible. Is it set up by Spotify? Spotify tracks it.
Okay.
But they don't make that publicly available for promotion yet. But you see my point.
That's what
here,
I mean.
Right?
Theoretically it's possible, but Spotify would have to let you do that.
I'm talking about what will happen as this, because at some point that's going to happen. Okay. And then the second part of the pixel data is that, okay, I've got a song that, got a couple 100,000 streams. Here's all the content of, here's the pixel data of all the people that streamed it. Go find me some new people that look like this. Right. And then you can go out and it's like you already are reasonably certain that these people that have never heard of you before are going to be predisposed to liking what you do. Yeah. Right. In other words, you're not shoving a country song down a gangster rap fan, or vice versa. Like it's, or a smooth jazz fan or, you know what I mean? Or a folk music fan. Like it's like you're targeting the right genre and subgenre on this. Okay. So then the next thing is I'm blessed to say I get hooked up with Joe Kelly, who's running this whole Big Damn Music Jam, which is going to be like Whiskey Jam once a month at 3rd and Lindsley. He has brought on Daredevil to promote it, and 3rd and Lindsley is one of the premier venues in Nashville, to be sure. And they've got a great team. Love 3rd and Lindsley.
All these venues you mentioned are top notch.
Top notch. I mean, these are again, I'm speaking matter of factly, okay, about what's available and what the general environment is, right? And how there just is a huge lack of awareness, understanding, or anything. And this has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you, because that's the opportunity, right? Yeah. So 3rd and Lindsley uses TicketWeb, which I'm pretty sure is like one of the bigger venues. Now, that may be a bubble thing for me, but maybe it's a Nashville specific thing. But the lion's share of tickets that I buy, and we go to a lot of different live events at several different venues. Third and Lindsley, Basement East, the Basement, Ryman. Their Ticket Web is the outlet, right? That's what I
Okay.
see. It's I'm used to. I'm very, very familiar with that brand name. So I go back to Third and Lindsley, and I'm like, hey, you guys are using Ticket Web. This is the code I need to inject. I give them a list. Like, how can we do this? And they're like, okay, we have to go ask Ticket Web because we're not sure. They don't know because, again, nobody's asking, right? Nobody knows. So again, nothing against Third and Lindsley here. They're doing their job and they're excited to, oh yeah, let me see what we can find out.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. They're tumbling with Ticket Web. Are they going to have just like one pixel thing just on the page, or am I going to be able to like each step of the way go and find out and get to the purchase right on the thank you page and be able to know that that's what happens? So guys, the first label, the first management company, the first venue, the first artist that figures this out is going to rule the world.
Yeah.
I mean, rule the world, y'all. Like the power in this is incredible. You're all so used to it from Amazon, from stuff you've bought that you saw in your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed or your TikTok feed or through a Google ad, right? And we've talked, everybody knows the story. They know the process. Do you see now that it's completely non-existent in the friggin' music industry?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about a blue ocean, someplace, if you're a competitive artist, right? You got a compelling artist with competitive songs and recordings, and you want to try to find a way to get to people that nobody else is doing, some clear blue ocean where you're not having any competition. It's still super blue.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've told this story before. It's been several years since this happened, and hopefully it's better. But like, I was doing some research as a songwriter on an artist. So it's Billy Currington in this case. I thought, okay, what's Billy's latest, at the time, current single? So I go to his website and I watch the video for his, at the time, current single. I'm like, all right. So I'm digitally raising my hand like way high. I went to his website, watch his current single video. Because I'm like, okay, what kind of stuff do I want to write or pitch to him, right? So then, later in the day, whatever, I'm hopping over to Instagram, Facebook, and I notice what I don't notice. What am I not seeing? I'm not seeing Billy Currington.
Yeah.
Why am I not seeing Billy Currington? Like, I've been trained, right, by all these other Amazon and whatever, all these other, sales, what are these companies, marketers, that I should be seeing that. And it hit me probably because of my conversations with you and doing this podcast for years. Oh, I'm not seeing Billy Currington. Somebody is failing. Like, they should be showing that video again to me, like getting me to go stream now, buy now. He's coming to yours. Oh, he's coming to your neck of the woods. Here's his concert schedule. Like, all the stuff they can be showing me, my Facebook, my Instagram.
And how about whatever. A video from Billy Currington on there, right? Like, hey man, thanks for visiting, dude. Like, check it out. We got some new shirts, or here's our concert dates, man. I'd love to see you. Like, here they are, and it's a chance for the artist to create that relationship and make that happen. But they're still thinking about it through a broadcast lens where we just slam this song down your throat so many times, and you don't have a choice because you've got to listen to the radio and you're not streaming. You don't have a choice. That you end up liking the song, and then you go and you buy the record, and that's
not the world we live in anymore.
The way it works on digital. It has to be more of a relationship thing. Why is Taylor Swift so huge now? She broke on broadcast, to be clear, but she understands the one-to-one of digital, and she fosters relationships with her fans. I don't care what you think about Taylor Swift.
That's
her
irrelevant.
fans believe that she loves them. Her
Mm-hmm.
fans believe in their hearts that at any Christmas she may show up at their front door with a gift. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they believe that because she controls the narrative and puts it out there.
Yeah.
There is no mystery with Taylor Swift. She's there all the time, for better, for worse. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like if that's giving you reasons to dislike her, then the only reason you dislike her is because she's the one that's been telling you and she got in front of your face to do it.
Yeah.
You know, people,
It,
this is how it works in today's market.
the thing is, it doesn't for music, or they try not to. And the same goes, you know, like not picking on Billy, but so many artists, because I'm always on artist websites and looking people up and all this stuff, and I'm not seeing them blowing up my feed.
No,
So
there's
other
no
artists aren't doing
stickiness
this.
at all. It doesn't exist at all. I mean, can you imagine having a friend at a party turning you on? Like you're in college, okay? Like you're in your formative years where you're figuring out, you're looking for new music and you're going to figure out like what's going to be the soundtrack of your youth.
Yeah.
And usually by age 30, that stops, you know? So in those formative years, a friend turns you on to an artist. You're like, oh, wow, this is great. Oh, cool. And then all of a sudden now the artist is aware of that. And just like Amazon will keep pinging you on products that you showed interest in, this artist is like putting different kinds of content and pushing it into your feed. And it doesn't take a whole lot of that before you can be indoctrinated, before you're like, I love this artist. Like this is the artist for me.
I mean, we've done whole episodes on this, reach and frequency. You got to reach your people and with enough frequency that they latch on. Right?
Yes. And from a label perspective, they're still spending $1 million to promote a P1 radio single in country, right? Because it's the most stations. It's the biggest genre. So $1 million, but it still costs the same, even though it's not returning anything. And you don't know who heard it. You don't know who liked it. You don't know who disliked it. And so it's spray and pray a whole lot of money. You know, 6 zeros, man. You know what I mean? And on digital, it's not. It's like I'm only going to spend money on the people that I know, like the first one, you know? And until that begins to grow, I'll just keep working this vein right here, these people, and turn them into super fans by creating that relationship. And I'm not wasting money on people who are either never going to like me as an artist or are just not ready to come in the market yet. They're not going to be one of the first people or the second people. They're going to be part of the vast majority. And I'm not blowing money on that. It's more efficient. It's more effective. The data's there. The data helps you find new fans quicker that are really going to be fans, right? Like everybody who's a country music radio listener doesn't like Luke Bryan.
Nope. A lot of them don't.
Or they don't like, you know, Big and Rich, or they don't all like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like name your artist. You can't be all things to all people, but you know, creating that reach and that frequency and doing it very intentionally with people that have already perked their ears up and being able to do it. It's all that tech is available and nobody's using it. So I mean, the first artist that does this, the first artist that has a friggin' budget, that knows where to spend it, right? And that does this is going to be the golden child. They're going to be like, how the hell did you blow up? Well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
You know, and I know some artists that have already, and it's almost like the music industry still looks at them as if it's a fluke, like they got lucky. Not a fluke in their artistry or their talent by any stretch, but how they came into prominence, right? Like Cody Jinks definitely spent like $100,000 on Facebook ads in one of his formative years, you know, and you're talking about a guy that's living a very comfortable 7-figure life right now and has never been on the radio.
Yeah.
You know, and not for nothing. Did you see his last cover?
No, but I know the name, but no.
Go look it up, dude. I saw it, my eyeballs popped out of my head. I'm like, no friggin' way. This has to be a country song, not a cover. And they just used the same name. But no, it's a cover. Ozzy Osbourne's Flying High Again.
Okay. I'll have to check that out. Cody Jinks.
You want to hear about a compelling cover, and they went totally Cody Jinks with it, which is what you need to do, right? I mean, that's what makes it so different. The feel, everything, it's awesome.
That's cool. Well, the conversation makes me think, okay, it's coming up. It's football season. It's coming up. Yeah, football season is coming up. So I think like radio labels and stuff, they're running plays, right? They're throwing long bombs at the radio. It's almost like you have a football team, you're running the offense, and at the end of each play, they don't really tell you. You never watched the game film. Who blew coverage? Who ran the wrong route? Who blocked like a mofo and cleared the path, and we should have run through that hole? No, just on to the next one. How many yards you get on that play? I don't know. It's not important. Just run the next play.
Yeah. Yes.
Like you're not getting the feedback on hey, number 7 or whatever on the defense, he shuts down everything that comes his way. Maybe we should stop running there. Or that guy, he's a third stringer, safety. Let's attack him. Nope. Yeah. Don't care who these people are. Right?
Yeah.
It's anyway, limited analogy, but my goodness.
But that's great, because you know what? It's like what you're essentially describing is like, let's go into this football game where there's all this money to make and all this money to lose as a team in a multi-$100 billion industry without a strategy.
Yeah. Or even really know who we're playing.
Or no information.
Or our own personnel, like our fans. We don't even know our.
How about like looking at the defense and understanding the game film of the team you're about to play? Where are the weaknesses here?
Yeah, where's the opportunity, right? Where's the opportunity?
Where's the opportunity? Yes. Remember Chris Carlisle talking about his interaction with Peyton Manning when he was still at UT, and he's like, "What you doing, Peyton?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to look at this one safety, man. I'm trying to figure out his tell. Every safety has a tell. I need to know whether he's going to stay on the outside or whether he's going to go to the inside." And after 5 hours of watching game film, he comes walking out, and Chris is like, "Did you find it?" He goes, "Yeah, it's his shoulder." Like he drops his shoulder when he's going to go to the inside, and he doesn't when he's going to stay on the outside.
Yeah.
So now he knows where that safety is going to be. And the safety is like, it's like playing poker. What's your tell, right? But that safety didn't even know that he knows. That's the difference between a Peyton Manning and every other freaking quarterback on the planet, right? It's that kind of work. This
attention to detail and looking for the opportunities.
People, like, I mean, I've been preaching this for 8 years, and it's just falling on deaf ears. This is it. Like, this is gonna change everything for you. You need to get on board with this and figure this out, because, the way it worked out with the first promoter was after the 5th show, I went back to him and I'm like, "Hey, 5 different venues now. By the way, 5 different ticket outlets. Not one of them had the same outlet,
Yeah.
And none of them can do this pixel code." I said, "This is like your show, right? Like, you buy the talent and you pay for the production, you pay for the venue, you pay for the promotion, you put all this together, and whatever you make above and beyond your expenses, you put in your pocket. Is that right?" He's like, "Yes." I said, "So that makes you the man." He's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Can we then dictate who the ticket outlet's going to be?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so we went and found somebody that could do business our way in 2020. And of course, that didn't last long because of the pandemic. But we found one. They're like, "Oh yeah, we got all that on every page." And I'm like, "Okay, this is who we're doing business with, because now I can track it, So, we're talking about that came up with Brandon Will. I'm like, okay, this is 2.0 right now, because they're just getting the wheels, they're just gassing up the engines, pushing this plane down the runway. Like, we haven't gotten to any level of speed yet where we can take off. But it's like, hey man, what if you rented the theater and you control the money? Like, how would that work?
Because they won't do the job. Like, they're not set up to.
Because then you can control it and do a better job. Yeah, it's like, what's a way to make that happen? Kind of a thing. So anyway, something to think about, guys. Like, this is still real. This is still freaking real. We've made no progress. Nobody's asking. Nobody's working it. Nobody's following anybody. Like, for those of you who are just dumbfounded with your digital strategy and your social media strategy, and you're not sure how to break through, this is it. Okay, this is how you do it. And like I said, it's a little sophisticated, But it ain't rocket science. It's not more work than the circle of fifths and understanding music theory. It's not, you know. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that, guys. That brings us to the end of another Killer Climb episode. Brent and I got to get back to work. We've created this podcast because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.
Ride a greyhound all night.